Hi everyone, we're back at the home page again, and I'm going to go back to the modules and click on the course syllabus. Whenever you see this cloud with the little downward arrow, that implies that you're going to be downloading a file. And so when you click on it, first it'll show you a preview version. I recommend that you go ahead and click on this PDF version because then it'll open it as an actual PDF file that we'll use either if you have Adobe Reader on your computer or Foxit or one of the other myriad programs that can open PDF files. Then you'll get this nice, organized, scrollable, searchable version of the document. You'll notice that at the very top I yell at you to please print and save this syllabus. I know a lot of students don't want to. It's 10 pages. I know you don't really want to print it. Really, if you print nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and in this little search box, I'm going to put page 10. I don't remember which page. There we go, page 9. If you print nothing else but page 9, your life will be so much easier this quarter because page 9 has all of your reading assignments in this column, in the column labeled chapter. It has all the discovery psychology videos that I've assigned in the next column. And then the assignments and what day they're due are listed in the last column. We've got the dates that encompass the weeks. So week 0, week 1. Our weeks start on Thursday and end on Wednesday. And so that's kind of tricky to get used to, but once you get used to it, it kind of makes sense. I tried to set it up so that you don't have any work due on the weekends, so that if you run into technical problems or whatever, you should be able to reach somebody to get it fixed, somebody at your campus or somebody like that at Washington Online or something like that, to get it fixed. So that if you print nothing else, page 9. Okay, so the reason why the syllabus is so useful is it tells you all my rules, all my guidelines, all my expectations. First off, it introduces me, Jillian Grover Seaver, PhD. I don't need to be called that. You can call me Jill, Dr. Jill, one of those things. My sign off, in fact, my username on Canvas is Dr. Jill. So in case there's anybody in class named Jill, you'll have a distinction between me and her. Some quarters I do get I get students named Jill. I hardly ever run into people named Jill. Here's instructions on how to use the inbox. Here's a picture of our textbook's cover and what edition we're using. If you have more questions about the textbook, I put a little section down at the bottom of the syllabus to explain what edition we're using, how else to buy the text, stuff like that. We're going to be using the Psych Portal. As of this recording, the Psych Portal is not entirely up and running yet, and so you'll receive emails with documentation on how to log in more specifically. But that's the link to it. Here's the link to the Discovering Psychology videos. The Discovering Psychology videos are sort of like reading. I kind of treat my online classes like telecourses used to be. In the olden days, you would watch videos and read your textbook and then take exams and things like that. Well, when I first started teaching online, I didn't have students watching videos. I went right to the discussion model. But I discovered that students were kind of giving me very rote answers to the discussions. So I thought, why don't we go back to the old model where you're watching videos and reading your textbook and providing evidence that you've read your textbook and watched the videos. Why don't we do that? So that's what I've gone back to. Here's the course description and course overview. Going to scroll past it. Okay, what are you going to be doing in class? Well, first, during week 0, you're going to take a syllabus quiz to show that you've read the syllabus and that you know the rules. The syllabus quiz is in the Start Here module. There are 15 items on the little quiz, and it should help to ensure that you know what you're doing in the classroom. I've organized the class by modules. I showed you that in my last navigation buttons overview. In each module, you will find consistently the learning curve games, the video toolkit assignment, and the Psych Investigator / Psych Sim assignment. Sorry for that cumbersome title there, Psych Investigator, Psych Sim, but some weeks there are no Psych Investigators, so I put Psych Sims available. Some weeks there's only one Psych Investigator, and I really like to give you guys a choice of things to do each week. So on those weeks I added some Psych Sims in there. It's all I try and give you guys some freedom to pick what you're going to be doing, and that's why you get sort of a cumbersome assignment. I'll go over those assignments in a separate video. All of these things, the learning curve games, the video toolkit assignments, and the Psych Investigator Psych Sims are all at the Psych portal. So once we've got good access to the Psych portal, I'll show you how to access that. I'll have another video on that. Okay, so just to describe them, the learning curve games, I call them games because they feel a lot like you're playing a video game. The games are designed to be responsive to you. And so as you give answers, you can, if you've done your reading in advance and you know what your answers are, you can progress through these games really quickly. If you haven't been doing your reading, you will get adaptive questioning from the learning curve game. And so it'll ask you the same topic with a different question, giving you another chance to try and get it right. It'll point you to the e-textbook to figure out the section that you should have read in order to understand the question. It'll take you a lot longer to do the learning curve games if you haven't done your reading in advance. So, it's up to you how you do it. Each week there's going to be between 2 and 7 games listed in the Psych portal, because in each week we are doing sometimes 1 chapter and sometimes 2 chapters, and each chapter varies in how many topics they have. And so there are games that apply to each topic and yada yada. Long story short, somewhere between 2 and 7 games. But what I've done is I've adjusted the game lengths so that on the weeks that you only have 2 games, you have more questions to address. On the weeks that you have 7 games, you have fewer questions per chapter to address. So that basically it should, if you've done your reading, take you between 45 minutes and an hour to complete the full set of games. You don't have to do them all at one time. You'll log into the game. You have a due date. Every week, the set of games, however many were assigned for that due date, that set of games needs to be submitted by 11:50 p.m. on that due date. 11:55 is the latest I could set the time in the Psych portal. They don't have an 11:59 due date, which is my favorite due date. So 11:55 on the Wednesday that they're due, you have to get the full set done. You can complete any games that are available at any time. I have them all loaded right now. They're all accessible. So you can kind of work at your own pace as long as you're completing them prior to the deadlines. If you start a game, you can complete part of it. And then if you realize it's taking too long and you've got to go do something else, it'll save what you've got done so far. And then you can pick up where you left off. As long as the deadline hasn't passed, you need to have it done by the deadline. It's a game because it's got this target score, and you guys will see these little bars that start to accumulate in the bottom showing that you're getting closer and closer to the target. You don't lose points for wrong answers, but you gain points for right answers without a hint. If you have to ask for a hint, then you get fewer points. It's all, very much like a video game. It's kind of like bars of health or whatever going on at the bottom. And so you want to try and maintain your health and get done as quickly as you can, showing that you've read the book and that you're ready to go. But if you need hints, you can get hints. It just takes you longer if you use them. Every Thursday, I will transfer your points to the Canvas gradebook, because what will happen is that the learning curve points will get accumulated in the Psych portal gradebook. I'm going to have to go in and manually transfer those points into our Canvas gradebook. So you can see in the Psych portal how you're doing in the Psych portal assignments. It won't be until Thursdays that you can reliably count on the Canvas gradebook to reflect the points that you've accumulated in the Psych portal. These learning curve games are not something that can be really made up. You want to be working on track, on pace. One of the nice things about the fact that the games are, between 2 and 7 per week is that you can get some of them done, and maybe something happened and you didn't get all of your learning curve games done for the week. At least you're going to get partial credit. So I don't give, if you miss assignments, I don't give you an opportunity to make them up. I need you working on task as we go. Video Toolkit is different from Discovering Psychology videos. Discovering Psychology videos consider them like your book. So they are assignments that I won't know whether you've necessarily watched them or not. They benefit you. Students who want A's in the class will probably read their book, watch the Discovering Psychology videos, plus do the work that I'm assigning. Students who are happy with poorer grades will probably be able to let some of that stuff slide. So that the Discovering Psychology videos are a separate issue. Video Toolkit, there you're going to find in the Psych portal a gigantically long list of videos that are assigned for each week. You only have to pick one. Each week you pick one of these videos to watch. They're going to range between 5 and 15 minutes, and they are on a variety of topics that apply to the week's readings. So, go through the ones that have been assigned for that due date and pick one whose title sounds interesting to you, and then watch the video. You can do more than one if you want, but you only get credit for one. So you're welcome to watch every video. You're welcome to watch a set of videos, but you have to watch one. And then when you get done watching the video, there will be a little quiz that follows it. Immediately following the video, there will be a little quiz. I think they're always 3 items. I haven't taken every single quiz in the Psych portal though, so don't hold me to that. They're approximately 3 items long. So you'll watch the video, answer the questions to show me that you watched the videos, and then again the points will be automatically recorded in the Psych portal gradebook, and then I'll transfer them over into the Canvas gradebook. This needs to be done by Mondays at 11:55. So Learning Curve on Wednesday, Video Toolkit on Monday, and also Psych Investigator Psych Sim will be due on Mondays. So you've got 2 things that need to be due on Mondays: Psych Sim, Psych Investigators, and then Video Toolkit. Wednesday will be your Learning Curve games. Okay, Psych Investigator, Psych Sim. So again, no makeups on any of these things that are happening in the Psych portal. Everything in the Psych portal must be done by its due date. No makeups, no exceptions. Okay. Each week's choice, well, actually, I have a certain amount of flexibility on the Learning Curve games, but not really. So let's just call it no makeups. Okay, so each week there will be at least 2 items to pick from that'll have either the name Psych Investigator or the name Psych Sim. And they'll have the same due date. You're going to pick one, and you can tell by the title what it's likely to be about. Psych investigators are kind of more interesting in certain ways because while it's true that you have to listen to a little short lecture, there is a demonstration, there's a participatory aspect where you'll give answers like what is your prediction, stuff like that, and then you find out whether you're right or wrong. They also have the benefit of being completely self-contained. So you participate in the Psych Investigator, it has the questions embedded in it, and then it records your points right there. You don't have to do anything else. So it's a really nice aspect of Psych Investigators. But not every chapter has Psych Investigators, and not every chapter has a choice of Psych Investigators. So to make sure that you have a choice, and to make sure that every chapter has an activity, I've also listed some Psych Sim tutorials. Now, Psych Sim tutorials are really awesome also. They're very interactive. But the thing about the Psych Sims, first off, you don't listen to a lecture. So if you don't like listening to lectures, you might prefer the Psych Sim. But there's more reading. So there are entire slides where you're just reading the material. So it does have an interactive quality. No lecture, but there is more reading. But the thing that makes the Psych Sims a little bit confusing is that if you pick the tutorial, you have to, once you've completed it, don't do any of the submit your grade or any of that stuff at the end. You have to instead find the Psych Sim quiz that accompanies that tutorial. So if you pick Psych Sim descriptive statistics, which I don't think is one I made available to you, but let's just say you pick the Psych Sim tutorial descriptive statistics. Once you've completed it, then you have to open up in the assignment center the Psych Sim quiz descriptive statistics and complete the task. And then that gets automatically recorded. So the Psych Sim has like a 2-step process. So, but in some chapters, that's all there is Psych Sim. So you're going to have to eventually do a Psych Sim at some point, even if you don't really want to do them. Because some chapters we don't have anything else. So those are the weekly things that will happen in the Psych portal. You have your Learning Curve games due on Wednesdays. You have your Video Toolkit where you will pick one from the list of many, complete it, and it's due by Monday. And then you have the Psych Sim / Psych Investigator assignments that will be completed by Monday. So you have 2 things on Monday, 1 thing on Wednesday. Now on Tuesdays, but only on alternate Tuesdays, you'll have projects, and these will be submitted in the Canvas classroom. So projects are an opportunity for you to go out and actually do some extra research on the internet, or collect some data from your friends, or do an observation, or something like that, and then do a little report for me. And so this will be really the only thing that you have to do writing for this class, where you're going to submit in writing answers to me, and I'll grade your report. So every other Tuesday, starting with the second Tuesday of the quarter. So check your due dates that are in the modules, or you can check your due dates that are on the calendar at the bottom of the syllabus, or you can check the system calendar. There are a lot of places where the assignment due dates are listed. Each project has several choices. I always love to give you guys choices. So for me, I'd rather have a choice among many than be told just do this. I know for some students, they're like, I don't know what I want to do, and sometimes it's like extra pressure, so I'm sorry, but I like to give the sensation of freedom, so that's what I did. So you'll pick the one that you're going to pick, and then you'll complete the assignment. And I'll go over projects in a separate video. I'll just say right now that they're due on alternate Tuesdays. So you have Video Toolkit and PsychSim, Psych Investigator assignments due on Mondays. On alternate Tuesdays, starting with the second Tuesday of the quarter, you have projects due. And then on Wednesdays, you have learning curve games. Okay, and then here's instructions on how to assign them, and I'll go over that in another video. Then you have midterms, and these are going to be due in week 5 and in week 10. And they're going to be open for all of week 5 and all of week 10. Once you open an exam, you have 60 minutes to complete it. There are 50 multiple choice items on the test. So this will be my way of sort of assessing what you've really learned in the first half of the class, and then midterm 2 will be on the second half of the class. And putting you under a little time pressure so that you don't have a ton of time to be looking things up in your textbook. Obviously, I won't have control over whether you're using your study guide while you're taking the test. And so I don't mind if you're using your study guide. But the questions on the exams are scrambled, so it makes it kind of hard to look things up on your study guide. You want to basically be taking these tests, these exams from memory. They are in the week 5 and in the week 10 modules. Here are all my guidelines. I'll go over this in a separate video because this will get too long if I go over it now. The other assignment that I wanted to point your attention to is the extra credit assignment. And this is sort of over the entire quarter. You can do this as you want. This is based on the Discovering Psychology videos. I'm trying to encourage you to watch them. So you can select up to 5 different videos, pose a question that came to mind while watching the video, and then answer your own question using material from the textbook, and then submit it to the assignment Dropbox that you'll find. It's linked on the home page. And I'll give you 5 points for each of the videos that you ask a question and answer the question about from those videos. So I'm trying to encourage you to watch those videos. Here's my academic integrity statement. If I detect plagiarism, that's the most common form of cheating that I experience in these online classes, where people copy things off of web pages, or they submit the same answers that their classmate submitted. If I detect that kind of plagiarism, this is your warning, this academic integrity statement. So if I detect that kind of cheating, you get an automatic 0 on the assignment. And if I detect it again, you get a 0 in the class, and you get reported to the administration. So don't cheat. Do your own work. I've tried to set it up so you don't feel motivated to cheat, so hopefully that'll work out. Here are the grading criteria, again listing the assignments that are due and what they're worth. So you're seeing how many different, so every week you're doing a learning curve, a Psych Investigator, a video toolkit. Every other week you're doing projects. Half the class, one midterm, the other half of the class, the other midterm, and then, at the very beginning you got the syllabus quiz. So it kind of breaks it down into how many different assignments you're doing, how much they are worth as a group, and then how much they weigh into your overall grade. Here's the grading palette. I finally figured out that Canvas doesn't know how to round correctly, so now I've set Canvas correctly. So instead of saying 94%, it's really 93.5 because that's normal rounding procedures, right? 93.5 would round up to 94. So these are the breakdowns. So if you're at 89.5 or above, then you're in the A- category. If you're at 89.49 or below, right, then you round down to the B+. So I only round to 1 decimal. Canvas only calculates to 1 decimal point. Each week I'll make sure that the Canvas gradebook has been updated, but please don't ask me about where your points are in the Canvas gradebook until you've seen an email from me announcing that I've updated the gradebook, because I do it once a week. Incompletes and hardship, now I officially update it once a week. It's very likely that you'll see things come trickling in as the week progresses, but I will officially announce that this is it for the week. Week 2 grades have been updated, and then you'll know that it's correct for as of that moment. Incompletes and hardship withdrawals, I'm not going to go over specifically all the details. All I'll point out is if you want one of these grades, here's in red my major criteria. You need to be passing the class at the time you ask for an incomplete or a hardship. So if you see things starting to go badly and you think you might be able to pull it out, but you're running into difficulty or whatever, communicate with me earlier rather than later. Because if I haven't heard from you while you're still passing, and then later you ask me, well, it's been 3 weeks since I talked to you and this is what's been going on. Now you're at the fail and there's nothing I'm really going to be able to do for you. But if you can contact me while things are still reasonably decent, we can try and figure something out. So the reading and video assignments are all on this table that I already showed you. And so like I said, if you print nothing else, print page 9 and it'll keep you on track. And then here's my advice for, the Canvas web page and the Psych portal. Unless there's a generalized outage, you're responsible for getting your work into the classrooms. One of the things about the Psych portal is it is run by the textbook's publisher, and so sometimes they are updating materials and things. When I was working in the Psych portal last week getting ready for this quarter, they had an announcement on the first page that said it's going to be shut down on January 3rd. It may still in fact be up there right now, because today is January 1st, because I'm a total loser and I'm working on I'm working on New Year's Day. But hey man, what am I supposed to do, right? So anyway, they will announce if they're going to have planned outages. And so if you are unaware and you haven't been doing your homework and you don't log in until the day that they're doing the planned outage, don't panic. You're the one who didn't get in until it's time. A lot of times the planned outages are on Fridays and Saturdays, and they're usually in the middle of the night. And so more than likely it won't affect you, and more than likely it won't prevent you from getting in work that's due in our classroom, because our Psych portal work is due on Mondays and Wednesdays. So it shouldn't affect you, the planned outages that they hold. But if you have waited till the very last second, it's really kind of your problem, right? You'll notice I said here that you need to arrange for backup computer access, particularly for the midterms. You need to have computer access. You can't enroll in an online class and then claim that your computer failed you at the critical moment. That's like showing up for an in-person exam and then saying, I didn't bring any of the materials that I need to take this exam. You need to somehow, teacher, make it possible for me to take this test. There's nothing I can do for you if you wait till the very last minute and your system fails you. Now, I mentioned at the top of the syllabus that there's more details about the textbook at the bottom, and I would like to point out that if you haven't bought your textbook yet and you're willing to work with just an ebook, when you if you haven't bought a book, you can buy the access to the Psych portal, and it will automatically come with an ebook attached to it, so that you don't have to buy a separate textbook if you're willing to use an ebook. Now, not everybody likes an ebook, and I'm not sure that this Psych portal ebook will download onto your Kindle or whatever. I can show if you do make the decision to go strictly ebook by buying the Psych portal, I can give you another link that may give you a more functional ebook version that might download onto your Kindle so that you have a little bit of portability. Or onto your smartphone or whatever. If you haven't gotten your text yet and you have ordered it, you can buy access to the Psych portal using a credit card and then get a full refund within 14 days of that purchase. So it's not exactly completely a free access for that period, but they will give you a full refund within 14 days of that purchase. So if you haven't got your book, that's what you do. You buy the Psych Portal now. It has the ebook and it has the Psych Portal. And then you contact the publisher within 14 days. This is your responsibility to keep track of it and get a full refund. Do you really need the newest edition? Well, it's the one I'm working from, and I'll tell you what, they have completely reorganized the text from the 8th edition to the 9th edition, completely, to the point of moving materials from one chapter to another. So if you get an 8th edition, well, first off, you're going to need the Psych Portal access anyway. And so you're going to have a 9th edition at the Psych Portal. It's really just not for this class in your best interest to buy a used textbook. Okay, so that pretty much hits all the high points on the syllabus. Like I said, I've got a couple more videos that'll cover some of the assignments in greater detail, but hopefully this at least gets you oriented to the syllabus. Okay, and as always, if you have any questions, send me a message in the inbox.